Yo, 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 it's your boy Blaze McCoy, and we're back with another episode of WrestleSense podcast here with your boy Blaze McCoy on the Blaze Radio Network here on YouTube. I'm pumped about this one. Not like your regular podcast, people, of course. And we're here for some friendly debate and discussion for the state of pro wrestling today. We got some special guests. We got the boys, of course, and we got y'all in the chat. Let's give some shout outs. That's how we do it. We couldn't do it without you out there in the live chat. Wally's in the building, as always, faithful to the end. Monstar Sports and Entertainment, my friend Sean in the building. Great to see you. Welcome to the show. There he is. PFW's in the house, one of the members of the chat. Throw up those WrestleSense emojis, people. You know how it goes. You know that you're part of the family, people. You see Cody Hagan. How you doing, Cody? Cody joined us for a couple of our watch-alongs at pay-per-views. Good to see you. MSW also joined for some of those watch-alongs. You saw Cody and Miles in the little the intro there now. Good to see you. Jen Richards, there she is. Welcome to the show. You're tuned into Blaze Radio as well. Wrestling Mama. Great to see you, Mama, as always. And Hugo as well. Big shout out to you and our Canadian contingent up there. Jamon Scott, my man. Good to see you, man. Saw you earlier today. Saw you now. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Brooklyn Joker's in the house. Good to see you. Cassie, Madam Red. Welcome, 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 doll. Good to see you. Clinton, as always, Missy Harris is in the crowd as well. Pack house here for a great show. Dick Kick City. Oh, well, I had to throw that in at the end. I know everyone says I'm playing that little segment out, but maybe a little bit. But it's good to see Easy E get kicked in the nuts, huh? McBride's in the house as well. We got a nice little crowd already filing in. J. Jules Barrett as well. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Share it out to your friends and family. Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram, Instagram, post, chat, tweet, messenger pigeon, Morse code, smoke signal, whatever. Spread the word, birds. Let people know what's going down. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Obviously, we could sit here and talk about what happened on Dynamite last night. We could talk about Raw. We could talk about what's going on in the world of wrestling. We're going to do a little bit different here tonight. We got some special stuff to go over. And, of course, some special guests. So let's bring someone else on. Let's bring Doc on first.
What up?
What's up, Doc? How you doing, man? What's up, Doc? I didn't mean to make that pun. I'm sure you've never heard that joke before. What's up, Doc?
If I had $1 million for everybody that made that joke, what's up,
If
Doc?
you had
You know what I'm
$1.
saying?
So we're going to talk to Doc specifically about a little endeavor he had recently to kick us off, and I'm very jealous.
All right.
I'm very jealous. He has a lot to brag about. I'm gonna bring everybody in. I'm also gonna bring the guests in now so we can have some fun with this shit, man. We got an LP raid. Susie was live here earlier, and she's bringing her crew over here. You got to respect that. Gotta love it. Thank you, Susie. You rock. I joined her on her broadcast for a couple moments earlier with her and Bubs. Good to see you guys. Welcome in. Let's mix it up. Let's bring old Black Eye Betty in here. What's up?
What's up, guys? How are you?
So I don't know. Are we gonna get the story tonight, or do we not want to know it?
Basically, I coach 14U girls softball. I wasn't paying attention, and a shortstop threw it to first base, and first baseman missed it, and my eye caught the ball.
Sorry for it. Hey, this big schnoz here, that's not natural. I got hit with a baseball in the nose and broke it. This nose used to be over here, so I know how it feels.
So you're saying the ball came from the side?
From the side.
From the side, yeah. But, the greatest part was I terrified 15 U14 little girls, and then Brandy in the background screaming, "We got to get an MRI and a CAT scan." And I'm like,
oh, boy. Speaking of MRIs and CAT scans, CJ Sensation.
What is going on? I came in from the side like usual.
He did.
Another great Thursday.
No one does it better from the side than CJ.
Had a long day of training for the new job, so I'm a little tuckered, but this crowd always gets me up and going and lively.
Did you say tuckered?
Tuckered.
Yes,
how old are you?
Tuckered out, bro.
Like
I'm
the youngest
40.
guy here.
I'm old as shit.
20 baby or what?
81, ho.
Shoulder.
Jesus.
How's the shoulder,
Next
CJ?
thing you
Well,
know, you're gonna
You're
have
older than
something
he
for
is.
lunch.
Shoulders good. I'm going to try going back to the gym starting next week with some restrictions and see how it goes. So no more PT. I got released from PT because there's not really much more that they could do for me. I just got to get back to normalcy myself. So looking forward to the next journey.
Good stuff. Shout out to Firestar in the live chat. Good to see you, huh? And Duke Tomlinson as well. Welcome in. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and share it out, man. We got some special guests tonight. We're going to have some fun. Normally, see if I can get the pointing right. Normally, this guy down here is delivering pizzas in the car, but we got someone else in the car. What's up, brother?
Yeah. I felt jealous of Eric always being the one to, be
Orders
doing it from
Burger
his
King.
automobile and driving through. So I'm driving through Dairy Queen right now because Applebee's fucked up yet another meal. And
You won't put them on
dang.
the podcast.
Who, Applebee's? Fuck Applebee's. Chris Bennett,
There goes our
I
Applebee
fucking hate
sponsorship.
I fucking hate Apple. I will not accept that sponsorship money.
You are the
I will
epitome of Ricky Bobby right now
You're
because
not even
you
good at
officially
the
got kicked out of an
neighborhood. Fuck that.
Applebee's.
Hey, all in favor if Applebee sponsors us, we kick Ray out just to get paid.
I just want some
Do it.
2 for 22 action.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
You got the quote of the
There
night
ain't
already.
two things
CJ.
on it. Look, I'll pay you
Thank
$22
you.
to take me somewhere else.
Thank you, Cassie. Yeah, 81, ho.
81.
We got Super Nacho in the building as well. Ivy. Welcome, Ivy. Super Nacho's daughter, Ivy, in the building. Part of the Legion of Dork, our podcast we do on retro games, toys, etc., etc. We will talk a little bit about that here because this guy happened to go to the Steel City Con this weekend and had the pleasure of having some fun with it. Right?
I had a blast. It was actually my son's first one, so I made it more about him.
He's trying to hide.
And it was a good time, man. I like I said, we met some certain people. I'll wait till there's a graphic, but let's just say if you're a wrestling fan, Steel City Con is definitely somewhere to go because they always have like great talent there and people that you could meet. And my son got to meet his hero. I got to meet my hero again. So it was a good
I charged them $35 a piece too.
Okay, since we're going on it, let's just crank it out.
Fucking
Let's
twat.
crank it out from the side. Now look at this isn't just wrestlers. You got, TV, movies. I know you're a horror movie freak too, so I'm
Yeah.
sure you had fun with some of that.
That
right?
was a dream picture. Believe it or not, Ken Kersinger that played Jason from Jason versus Freddy was there. Unfortunately, that picture with him in full Jason garb was over $80 some.
Let's talk about this first.
Yeah,
this here is
Go ahead.
look at the faces, the names, and you got superstars. You got people from
Well, you have people from horror movies, like we have Robert Englund, who was Freddy Krueger,
Vacation
John
with the Whole-
Barenthal, who was the Punisher, and in Walking Dead as Shane. You had a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
Yeah.
basically a reunion with Chevy
Yeah.
Chase, Beverly D'Angelo. Unfortunately, Chrissy Brinkley got really sick. Grandy Quaid cancels like usual. You had some of the Rusties there. They had one or two Audreys. It was really cool.
Nice.
Devin Sawa, who was in Final Destination, and he's also in the new
Idle
Chucky
Hands.
series.
Idle Hands was my
Idle
favorite
Hands. Nick Castle, the one of the first Michael Myers. Anthony Michael Hall, who played Tommy Doyle recently in Halloween Kills, but he's in Weird Science. He was in The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher
He was the
Lloyd
original
from
Rusty.
yeah.
So I've never been to one of these,
from
dog.
Back to the Future.
Paint a picture for the audience out here on what some of these cons are like. I know they have them all.
They've
other
changed.
things too.
They've changed, but this one, big ass lines everywhere. So you are waiting. It is worth the wait sometimes for some of the celebrities. Chevy Chase had a 6.5 hour wait.
Damn.
Robert Englund had a 6 hour wait, which I kind of sacrificed because I wanted Bodie to experience this one, and it killed me because it was my dream to meet Freddy Krueger, and unfortunately I missed it again. So hopefully I could catch it. But that guy right there, there's a lot of cosplay there. There's a lot of guys there that just do the cosplay, and they have so much fun doing it, and they take pictures with the kids. And this Jason come over and I said, "Can you please give me my bucket list picture?" Of course, the child being the voice of reason, and me, of course, being the excited person seeing someone who's about to kill me.
True.
So I went ahead and went with that picture. I actually absolutely loved it. The guy actually saw it online and actually reached out to me, said thanks for the picture. Thanks for letting me be a part of that. So
The look on Bodie's face kills me in that one.
he's like, come on, Dad, Jesus. Yeah, I love it too. I mean, it's great. I really wanted him to look in horror, but no. And then
I'm a huge
That's a
Spider-Man
pretty
fan, so I had to
cool
put
one
this
there.
one's a very
Yeah, that's
cool
pretty
Spider-Man.
cool.
there's a lot of Spider-Men there, and that one was really cool. And he was like, "Daddy, look, that's the one from part 3." And I was like, "All right, do you want a picture?" And he's like, "Please." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Come
that
over." And I
was
said,
dope.
"There's a guy dressed as Mankind. He was one of the nicest guys in the world." And Bodie looked at him and he was like, "Have a nice day." And he's like, "You want a picture?" And Bodie's like, "Yeah." So
But that's
walked
not
in,
really
got a picture.
Mankind.
No, not at all. But he looks great though. He looked great. he
Yeah,
had
very,
everything.
very
He even had the thing that's covered up.
This is the one.
Yeah,
I'm
all
jealous
right. Yeah, all right. The one that broke the bank.
Yeah, really.
It was $105 to take a picture with these guys, but it was so worth it. And I loved every minute of it. I walked in, looked at Bodie. They looked at us, and I was like, "Okay, Bodie, to your respective heroes, or something like that." And Sting just started howling. Yeah, because the old guy walked over to Sting and the young guy walked over to Darby. Darby was so good with Bodie, it was unreal because he got down, squatted down, actually talked to him. And I just thought it was really, really cool. Just talking to these guys, I told Sting thank you for everything he's done for the business. I even told Darby the same thing. They gave these kids they gave these kids Ray, goddamn, with the car. All right, so
Yelling.
Well, he doesn't wear a
Yelling.
seatbelt. That's why.
yeah. And then basically, just Bodie looked Darby right in the face because we actually went to the table after this. Because when you take a picture at a Steel City Con, it's in and out. They don't want you to really curse with them a little bit. So we get there to talk to him for just a couple minutes, and then we said we'll just go to your tables, guys. And Sting actually whispered in my ear and said, "Thank you. Go to Darby's first, though. Let that kid meet Darby first." I was like, "Yeah, definitely."
Cool.
And he said, "Good luck getting in my line." He winked at me. I was like, "What's that mean?" He goes, "You'll see."
Oh, geez.
So we leave. We take our stuff, go and get in Darby's line immediately. It was about a 25-minute wait for Darby. It wasn't too bad. We got there early. A lot of people there getting skateboards, and there's a new coffin figure that's out now. Inside a coffin, 1 or 2 people had that. There's a Series 1, a lot of chases that were getting signed. Easy would have an orgasm, and I mean it was insane from all the stuff they did. But we were able to get this bad boy, and as you can see, this was my
Hold on,
figure.
hold on. Let me solo you here.
All right,
There you go.
but as you can see, he actually painted this. He actually had a paint pen, and he actually put it on there, and it looks like it's jumping out at you. And that's what I love the most about it. He doesn't really personalize much things. He said if you see people on eBay and stuff selling personalized items, they copied his signature. Like he's real. So he said if it's painted like that, if it's a paint pen, it's usually from him. Bodie was so enamored. We were walking out the door and this guy was selling posters to get signed. I still bought one for him for his wall. He wanted it.
Hey, Doc, before you go any further, explain to our people why you said that Darby was a good for your son to meet, because you and I had a conversation about this in private about his reputation and that.
I heard he was kind of mean, and he wasn't at all. He's very soft spoken, very awkward. You could definitely tell it's not his kind of scene. You know what I mean? You can just tell he's to himself. But
he's an introvert.
Yes, very good. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, CJ.
Yep.
And like I was saying, he was so nice to my kid. My kid literally looked him in the eyes and like it hit him because he said, "I want to be just like you."
Oh.
And of course, Buddy goes, "I hope you have good insurance." I about died when he said that, but
there are times that going out to these events and you meet people, and one guy that'll stick out, and you talk to EJ right now, he'll tell you that Bobby Roode was the biggest asshole he's ever met.
Wow.
And just because how he treated us in Phoenix, and there was nobody else around, he was just being a dick. And then you go to somebody like Baron Corbin or the Revival, and they love it because you're there and you spent money, and they talk to you for and they're really nice even though they're dicks on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes both ways, but I understand people have bad days, but you are right. The reputation of Darby is that he just doesn't want to be places. So to get a good experience, is pretty good.
I think it was more the fact that it was a little kid that was looking up to. I mean, the way Bodie was looking at him was so different than he don't get me wrong. He's looked at me as his dad, but to look at somebody like your hero that's off the screen, that's right in front of you, that was what the experience was about, and it was more about him this time. And I usually, before he was born, it was all about getting those autographs and getting some toys and everything like that. He walked out of there with autograph. He walked out of there with a Charizard Funko Pop because he's starting to get into Pokemon. Thanks, Easy. And yeah, it was a good time. I got an Iron Maiden figure, so Dad had a little bit of fun, but not as much as I wanted.
I think it's really one of those things though, where like sorry, Doc.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I think it's one of those things though, where like you're kind of scared to meet your heroes, especially for the younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you don't know what they're going to be like. There's numerous stories going around about how Sasha Banks and Ricochet, who are two huge baby faces in wrestling, two huge fan favorites, but there is story after story of them being total pricks in the airports and when they meet fans live. And I get it. Like, I get it that famous people have a right to privacy, but in a way you don't. When you're in public and you're making $500,000 a year to be on television, you got part of your job is sacrificing your privacy, and I think some of these people take it for granted and have a reputation for being dicks.
Let me ask you this real quick, because I have to defend Ricochet a little bit on this, because
I do too. I was going to too, but go ahead, Doc.
There's a lot of people out there in Pittsburgh. There's a guy, especially, I'm not going to mention his name online, but not a bad guy. It's just he shows up at airports and they sit there like 5 a.m, 6 a.m, and they want to pound these poor guys who just got done working their ass off and putting on 5-star matches
for an hour of sleep, maybe.
Yeah. And Ricochet put on Twitter, "Hey, I'm not trying to be rude." He even said, "I don't mean this personally, but when it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you're in my face with pens and wanting to take pictures, sorry if I want to be left alone a little bit."
Yeah, I saw the statement he put out, and I'm 100% okay with it.
I mean,
I totally get it. Don't get me wrong, because that's what the sad thing of it is like the people who, the autograph hounds that are literally just there to get an autograph to sell on eBay and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Spoil it for the people, but imagine, let's take my last instance with what we'll call it a celebrity. So it's one
quickly, because I didn't get to tell you, Ray, you missed our intro before that. We're going to breeze through these first 2 segments, just so you know.
Shut up. It's 1:30 in the morning, though. We just got off a flight and Kenny Omega standing there. Kenny Omega could have absolutely been a dick or anything like that, but I actually even didn't want to bother him and didn't want to talk to him because it was 1:30 in the morning. They were getting off. It's when they were in Dynamite in Pittsburgh, and he like almost insisted to take a picture with Allie because Allie was so excited about it. You know what I mean? Like, I get that you want to pound off the autograph guys who are 40 years old and have 83 things for you to sign, but man, you got to walk that fine line. Because like Doc, say you and Bodie are walking through the airport and you saw one of those guys.
Mhm.
That could make or break that kid's entire year. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So let us know out there if you guys have met any wrestlers in the last
Good, bad,
We've done that
indifferent
before. I mean, I've told my little
stories.
story. I mean, I try not to be a fanboy too much. But my little story about Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I met some in a strip club after a Thunder. And I got to see the Big Show with two strippers, one on each leg, sitting in a chair. I got to see Saturn get $1 taken out of his mouth by a stripper, not with her hands.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And
Those
I got a
guys would
little
not do anything like that.
A little too sweet from Kevin Nash on the way out. So if you guys have some experience, let us know in the live chat what happened. We normally save. So I had to touch base on that, Doc, because I was jealous of you. Plus, I'm always curious on what the cons are like because I've never been one.
Well, I got an idea. In August, there's another one. Why don't you come with
I
us?
saw that, so I will probably come with you. We
All right.
normally save this for the end of the show, but I want to talk about some of the local stuff. We'll let CJ kind of talk about
I'll make
this
it real
show.
quick. Yeah.
IWC coming up, and it's pretty big.
Next
as far as
Saturday
that.
at the Rostraver Ice Gardens. The Rostraver is kind of synonymous for ECW. Used to run there all the time back in the day. You have the Hardy Boys going for the IWC Tag Team Championships against TME, the main event, who've been appeared on AEW Dark. You got Matt Taven, Fandango, Eric Redbeard, Thunder Rosa, and Katie Arquette. And I'm having a hard time. Oh, Flip Gordon. I'm having a hard time seeing the graphic, but this is definitely going to be a show that you don't want to miss. And it's IWC in cooperation with New Era Wrestling. So we had one before, and it had a great turnout and a lot of chance to meet your favorite superstars.
Very cool. Now, at the same time, we always give, because Doc is always a part of a bunch of them too. So what is going on indies around here in the near future here, Doc?
Well, this Saturday it's RWA, and it's going to be a good one. We have Silas Young from Ring of Honor coming in to fight J-Rock, who he was our RWA heavyweight champion. He's unfortunately not now, but Silas Young, I'm excited because I get to call this. So I mean, I'm excited about that one. We also have, let me think who else is coming. I think Brian Johnson's coming back to take on for the third time Daniel Weeds. It's now tied 1-1 between those guys. So, excited about that. So,
Cool.
Keep it locked, man. It's gonna be a good time. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not super show or anything
Right.
like that, but
No,
It's still indie wrestling. So
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So support your
indie
indie wrestling. Yeah.
And at the same time, we'll talk about it hopefully a little bit later in the show next Wednesday. We're all going to AEW Dynamite here in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to bring on our guests here shortly, and we're going to talk a little bit about the explosion of collector cards for wrestling right now, because it's kind of big. It's getting bigger and bigger. I got someone to come in and talk about that. We're going to do fantasy booking soon. So we'll be right back with our 2 cents. All right, so I've done a stream for Blaze Cards, which is on the collectible cards. We've talked about the figures and stuff like that as well, and the collectibles. Doc and Easy know very well that we've discussed on this channel before. You can go all the way back to the days of wrestling cards of Hulk Hogan in the 80s. And even these little Ric Flairs that I have and Road Warriors from back in the day. So all the way back in the 80s, these cards are starting to become more and more valuable now because the companies are coming out with more product. And it is getting more and more and more popular. So we're going to bring on our 2 guests now, talk about cards and then do the booking. The first guest I'm going to bring on, also a YouTuber here, He's been doing stuff for a really long time. Great guy. He does amazing voices. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce everyone to you, the incomparable Vince McSham. What's up, Vince?
You're going to make me blush. Oh, hell yeah.
How you doing? Now, the Jesse the Body is the one I want to interview Jesse the Body. Can I interview Jesse the Body real quick? Is he there?
Well, the fact of the matter is this: you don't just call out the body. You understand? In my opinion, that's you got to earn the right to talk to Jesse the Body.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You can lose if you must, but always cheat.
His Dusty Rhodes is on point. I mean, there's so many that you have. And you said earlier, like when you were younger, you used to do that all the time, right?
As kids, we all did it. We mimicked all of them. I mean. And a lot of them back in the day, when you look at the 80s, I mean, who couldn't? It's like you could mimic almost everybody. It's like, what you going to do, man, when Hulkamania runs wild on you?
Jesus. You're pro at this, man.
Yeah, I like it.
I've always been like, I did comedy years ago, and my favorite comics were the guys that could do great imitations. And while I do some wrestling stuff, that was about it for me.
Rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, sure. Buddy.
Yeah. So you do one of your little promos. You've done this YouTube thing for a really long time. How long?
17 years.
17 years on here.
17 years.
And from what I do with the eFed stuff, about 5 years ago, I started, and I'm seeing this guy clicking. He's doing old school stuff, like he's recreating old school, which is we've talked about that a lot, the old 80s and the territories and shit like that. And me blew my mind. I'm sitting there just like you guys. I'm like, and we're seeing him do it. So imagine doing it without seeing him. You can hear the voice.
Yeah.
I mean, so think about all the commentators from the past, and pretty much this guy can nail almost any of them. And it's a pleasure to have you, Vince. I mean, it's been a long time.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. This has been fun and entertaining. By the way, my wrestling story is I met several, but Scott Steiner was an asshole.
I had a great experience with Scott Steiner.
You're the first person I've heard that from.
Yeah, I had a really good experience with him.
Yeah, every time I met Scott Steiner, he's an asshole.
Honestly, I think with Scott, if you're a boy, like if you are a worker or something like that, yeah, he's totally cool as shit. But as soon as somebody out of sight of the business walks up, he's like, fuck them.
Yeah, we had a friend who was doing security over at the Orange County Civic Center. This was a Great American Bash. God damn, about 87, 89, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And this is when he and Rick were just, becoming the tag team. They just broke out the Frankensteiner. It was pretty new. And I think they were fighting Doom that night, if I remember. Anyway, my buddy was in charge of security. So he got me and my girlfriend, we were in our early 20s at the time, backstage. And we're just, he told us to stay right here. We stayed right there. We rode up the elevator with Cactus Jack, who had just very recently made it to the roster, and Kevin Sullivan. They were together.
Nice.
And it's like we're in an elevator with these two guys, and I'm like pressed against the wall with my girlfriend, like Ghostbusters over here turning on the backpacks. It's like, what the hell? But they were the coolest guys. And then they had to sit in this like cafeteria room. And then the Steiners came in a couple minutes later with a girlfriend and a little dog that you just wanted to kick. And they went and sat down. I just said, hey, guys, how's it going? That's it. That's all I said. Next thing you know, some other security guy comes by saying, they said that you guys were like running around. We didn't move from this chair. He's just being an asshole. So I get they kind of wanted to have their own little time or whatever, but man, we were being super cool, trying to be as respectful as we can. It wasn't like we were in the locker room or anything. So,
and that's the best advice I could give to anybody that wants to meet one of their heroes per se. Just treat them like a normal person, because they're no different than you or I.
Well, here's a mini quick story about this guy. Ray got me a job a while back when we were in a band together, and he's like, hey, you want to do ring announcing for RWA? And I'm like, sure, why not? Give me some cards, give them to know what they're at. I'll get in the ring. I'll do their introductions, piece of cake. So I go there and I'm thinking business wise, maybe they'd want to meet the guy who's doing the ring announcing. They didn't give two shits. I walked into the back. No one knew me. They basically didn't give a shit about this tall, bald, skinny looking dude coming back there, fumbling around. And I wanted to meet a couple guys. So I found out the easy way, just do what you're there to do. And I flubbed a couple times. Ray, I need to get that DVD. I know you have it somewhere.
Yeah, I should have it somewhere. One of the things about that is, and honestly, Doc, you can attest to this. Okay. It's kind of sad on the indie level, especially like the smaller indies, of the disrespect and like lack of appreciation that the ring announcers, commentators, all those guys who are making all the all of the, you know, the candy on the cake, if you will. Like whenever Doc and Church first started, they were unknowns. This was, you know, when Doc started RWA, that was his first commentary gig. Same with Church. They were friends of mine who I knew could come in and kill it. You know what I mean? And I brought them in. And the ring announcer we had, Doc, refresh my memory. What was his shoot name? I remember his shoot name. What was his?
Was it Bert?
Adam Montgomery.
Adam Montgomery.
Okay,
Yeah, Luke.
Okay.
Super nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
But he had done a few indies and stuff like that. And it was just weird. Like for those first, I'd say maybe 3 shows, like how they would talk to Luke or Adam Montgomery because they knew him a little bit and like cold shouldered a little bit Doc in Church. Cause it was like, who are these new guys?
Mm-hmm.
But that's your commentary team. Like if you want anybody on your fucking side, there's an indie worker, you want the commentary team on your side.
Because that can
putting
make
your ass
you.
over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then obviously once they became, you know, the voice of RWA, then the guys started to show them the proper amount of respect in the back and things. But I've even had that happen to me. I commentated a few other federations. I commentated IWC, and I was lucky at that point because the guys knew me. But, you know, like when you first go in there and it's a new locker room, you would think, again, like, it's just kind of weird for a ring announcer, for a commentator, because you're not the focal point of the show, but you're so fucking important.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go back and be like, let me make sure I'm pronouncing your name right.
Same with even in regards to me refereeing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same as commentating and ring announcers. I don't think, times have changed and we get a lot more credit now, I think, than we have in the past, but they are very intricate parts to the
Doc,
show.
what's your opinion on it? Just out of curiosity, because you've been obviously a long tenured now at RWA. I mean, you've been there since the very beginning. I think you started on the second show or third show.
Second ever show.
Yeah. So, but now you're starting with all these new federations like 2PW and things like that where
Clips, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you're just coming in. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think?
Well, 2PW, I've been there since the second show. For some reason, I always start on the second show. I never start. It's kind of funny. But like I said, my mains when it comes to RWA and 2PW, RWA was definitely, like you said, but walking in there, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, scared shitless. It was the first time I ever did anything like that. But people like this one over here, wait, I can't do it. PJ over here, that was awesome, and he just, you know, he welcomed me in with open arms, and it was like the veterans welcomed me in with open arms. And then some of these guys now that are probably, you know, trying on shoes at Foot Locker or whatever, you know, that didn't make it, that thought they were big shit.
Right.
Those are the ones that gave me the cold shoulder, believe it or not. Like, you know, the CJ Sensations, the Eric Ecstasies, the Justin Idols, the guys that were there, those guys treated me with respect because they thought, wow, this little kid's walking around with a notebook asking everybody, like, you know, their stuff, because really I wanted to make you guys sound great.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it was a big learning experience of RWA. And then when I went to 2PW, again, scared shitless, right? When I walked in there was a man by the name of Dan Hooven.
Oh, man.
I was scared to death of this man when I first walked in. Yeah, he is your guy. And what was cool was I walked right up to him and I said, "Hi, sir. Nice to meet you." What's your name? First of all, don't call me sir. Second of all, I've heard your work, and it's great. Welcome to our company. And welcome him in with open arms.
And that's the way it should be, but
it was just so cool because it was like a lot of those guys knew me already. Plus, I think I had some help over here with this guy. So
I mean, your work speaks for itself. I don't need to do anything to justify you being there. You do that on your own, but just making you feel more comfortable around guys or girls that you haven't met yet. That's what it's all about.
Speaking of one of the boys, speaking of someone who's been on the show before in a different capacity as far as the Blaze cards go, and then I realized that he knew some of the guys that I knew and started putting 2 and 2 together, that we're going to welcome back to the channel. Well, man, Anthony, welcome back, my friend.
What's up, everyone?
Now, last time you were here, you were in the Steel City. Now, you're in glorious Los Angeles and Hollywood, man. Even Hollywood. Now, I wanted to make an Italian joke earlier. I felt like I should be Pat McAfee bringing Vinny and Anthony into the show today. I wanted to do this for about 20 minutes, but how you doing, guys? How you doing? I know CJ knows you already.
Brother.
Absolutely.
From back in the day. And
dude, I'm doing great, man. Doing really good. Really great honor to be here, man.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Hey, there's only room for one Italian. One
Yeah,
Italian.
okay. So we're going to talk about
On the plus side, I don't look Italian. So you're safe.
Yeah.
I'm the white sheep of the family.
Yeah, don't worry, EP. You're definitely the grease ball.
Somebody else, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get the gabagool.
Stay in line, Easy Ear. We'll make the other one match it.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Anthony, Vince, Ray, the guys from the podcast. Anthony, I want to talk about cards a little bit, but let's get going here in just a second. And we're going to have some fun making some sense of what's going on in collections.
I'm having fun with this Blizzard.
Go for it, bro. So I did some opening. So Pittsburgh, part of Transparent Grading Team, and as far as Vince goes and Anthony, down in the description of this show, you can find their links for their YouTube pages, Instagrams, and their Twitters. So you guys can definitely check them out. Follow them; it's definitely worth it. Transparent Grading Team, I said back in the day, was changing the game, because you guys were doing things that, we didn't see with other grading companies. As the grading became bigger and bigger and bigger, my line is it went from collecting to investing to gambling. And now it's really a gamble. And we're going to talk about prices and money when it comes to these cards, because it's blowing my mind, man. So I got a little slideshow. Big shout out to one of Vince's. You got some fans coming over for you. There we go. Big shout out. So let's talk about, we talked about the AEW cards before. So let me just bring Anthony up real quick to try to hammer this out, because I really want to pick your brain on this a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
When these AEW cards came out, I bought the uncut sheet for $30 because I wanted any bit of these cards I could find. Obviously, we've talked about how cards are really hard to find in stores or retail anywhere. And then the prices were so high because they only had hobby at first. And now we're seeing that with Prism too. Is that like a trend we're going to see, do you think? Or
yeah, most of the time the products will be released first at hobby, and those hobby products will be you'll be able to get the most rare cards out of those. So like, for example, a box like this, it's just like a little blaster box. You get it like a Walmart or a Target. You have a chance of hitting an autograph, but typically with like a hobby product, you're normally guaranteed some form of autograph or relic or something like that. I don't believe AEW guaranteed an auto in their box, but most wrestling products do have at least one, if not two autos in a hobby box.
Yeah, so,
unless it's a higher end one, then it could be many.
I ended up going online and just getting the base set of 100 cards because I wanted to have the initial set. I've always been a big collector of whenever it's the first run of something. And these AEW cards, you see some of the relics, you see an autograph there. I just wanted to get a little taste of some of the stuff that's out there. Really cool stuff. I've watched you open some on your channels too, and it's just so like a box of those were like 200 or some, was it, for the hobby when they first came out? AEW ones?
Yeah, right around $200. Yep.
Now, have they released more retail stuff since then?
They have, yeah. They've released retail basically in the same format, like $20 to $30 for like a box like this.
Okay.
At Target, Walmart, those type of places. But they didn't release it in as much volume as they did the hobby with AEW, just because, Upper Deck doesn't really push out the same numbers of quantity as, say, like a Panini or like a Topps would, especially since this is like a debut set for them. So they were kind of dabbling their feet. Not only like would a wrestling set be viable, but would a not WWE set be viable in this
Very true,
market.
very
So
true, very true.
I
last
think,
year, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think maybe the follow-up set they put out will be like probably a lot higher finish. Like a lot of these cards are like very basey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a set. There's not like a whole lot of shine or gloss or anything like that. In fact, I don't even think the quality control on the set was really great. Like, for example, I'd graded like every single Britt Baker I was able to get my hands on out of the set. And like the highest I got was like a 9, and the rest were all like 8s if I was lucky. So like there was a lot of really damaged cards coming right out of the box.
Gotcha. So last year I met up with Anthony in Pittsburgh at one of the shows, and I was on a mission to find wrestling cards. And man, it was like, I think there was one guy at that show that had a little bit of it. Has that changed at all since this stuff is getting a little bigger? Have you seen
now with the emergence over the last couple months, it's starting to really change. For the longest time, like I've been to card shows all over the country just with Transparent Grading Team, and to find wrestling cards sometimes is a hassle. So it was always like real area dependent, and for the longest time, it was really tough to find them unless it was a massive show. But now, almost every show I'm going to, at least here in California, the wrestling stuff is super hot. The new WWE Prism that just dropped, I believe they were selling it for like $900 right from Panini.
Insane.
But at the card show, they were asking $1,600 for it this Saturday.
Now these are really good looking cards. These are really good looking cards, dude. And from what I've seen you guys doing too, and some of those, there's some big hits in those too. They have 1-of-1s and stuff in there too.
Oh yeah, it's all kinds of crazy stuff. The thing that's really nuts though, like for me too, like as somebody who really wants to buy this set, I look at the price of it just like being astronomically priced, and I think of a hobby box of tops, like say Chrome, which would be like the highest rarity of tops that you can buy of wrestling cards. And right from tops, it was $120 box. If you get it on the secondary market, it might be a $240 box tops, like even like now. So like for me, it's like super hard to like spring, like $1,500 on, one box of the equivalent.
I only want to pay $100 for a box, cause it's ridiculous to me as an old collector. Here's what I compare it to. Okay, take yourself back. If you're a collector, late 80s, it was baseball. And then all of a sudden, football and basketball took off late 80s.
Yep.
And in that middle of time, that's kind of what the feeling I'm getting. Do you get the same vibe with like wrestling now? How that's starting to kind of blow up?
Yeah, I actually just was talking with the guy at the show on Saturday. He literally had the best wrestling display I've seen like out of anywhere in the country. And I was just like picking his brain on like the hobby and stuff, because he had a ton of money invested into like high-end wrestling cards. And I was just kind of picking his brain, and I was like, dude, do you think we're going to see like an emergence with the wrestling cards like we saw with F1? Because F1 like is still super hot. Wow. And he goes, dude, honestly, I think wrestling is going to be even hotter, because even if you're not an active fan of wrestling, you still remember as a little kid how Hulk Hogan made you feel. Yeah. And if you could have a high-end collectible piece of like Hulk Hogan, like an autograph or just a really nice looking card, even if you're not technically a card collector or technically a like still avid wrestling watcher, you still have that person you connected with at some point. Like most people who have experienced wrestling have that one like at least wrestling story where, oh yeah, I remember, when I was growing up, McMahon versus Austin or XYZ, you know what I mean? Everybody has kind of that one moment. So I think this is why like this category of cards could kind of outperform some of the other ones. And some of the people that are fans of just wrestling in general are very avid collectors. Like they'll collect every t-shirt, every action figure, every Funko Pop, you know what I mean? So like this is just an extension.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Huddle Card Collection in the live chat. There you go.
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
And speaking of cards, we have a pretty one here to close out the show. So you might remember this card. Oh, where'd it go? I didn't upload it, son of a bitch. How about this one? Transparent Grading Team did me a nice big favor of grading this Hulk Hogan of mine. Amazing looking. This is just a little taste of what
I'll do you one better, brother.
He's gonna one up me. TGT, there it is. The Tony Hansen card. And there he is, the man himself, Tony Hansen. What do you think about that? Where's the CJ Sensation card at?
Hey, there might be one out there, and I don't even know.
Dude, there is one of you, bro. There was an entire set back in the day I made for Jim Miller.
Oh, well,
so
I'm surprised
that's how
I've
had
never seen it, because Jim Miller's,
these.
That's awesome. I'd love to see that.
NWA.
And I'd like to talk to you outside of here. I have a lot of old baseball, hockey.
No, you give them to me first, not Anthony. You give them to me. What are you talking about?
So, yeah.
So
awesome.
I had to pick your brain about. I mean, I get the vibe and I see it. I don't have $600, $700, $800. I know they're coming out with. I saw Target started having cellos for the WWE Prism, and I think hangers are out there now a little bit.
Mhm.
But they're not like going to be everywhere. I mean, it's rare to find any types of cards anywhere.
They're tough to even get. Like I have a friend of mine, shout out to Huddle, actually, Huddle Card Collection in the chat. He's been shooting me texts anytime the WWE Prism is dropped on Target. And like I hop right on it the minute that text comes in, and it's like I'm too late to get it because it sells out that fast.
Wow.
So have you guys ever been in the ring together or close?
We have, I think.
We have.
Sure. Yeah.
Actually, like this is gonna be a
match. You and Crusher Hansen versus me and
Troy Lords.
Okay. Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, and honestly, like this is going to be pretty. I don't want to say very high praise because I didn't have that long of a career, but you were probably the nicest choke slam that like I've ever done in my entire career. Like, you took it the best out of.
Yeah.
Like I felt like such a monster when I got to choke slam you. Like
and
out
that's
of
what
like
it's
everybody
to
I've
be.
ever choke slammed.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. That means a lot.
So that was awesome, Anthony. I really wanted to pick your brain on that. I really wanted to talk to Doc about the WrestleCon and stuff like that too. But what we all here together that I can't wait to do is we're going to do some fantasy booking. And that's coming up in our last segment here. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going down coming up in the next weekend. And we're all going to AEW next Wednesday. But we're going to get into 6 cents.
Yeah, they can move to this. Your soul, man, they can move to this. It's brand new. Open your eyes and realize it's the new guys. Y'all can man.
All right, now we're gonna have some fun. We've done some weird shit on this channel just so it's not the average ordinary podcast is why I want to do it. And we've done best of this, best of that, or we don't want to sit here and just tell you what happened in wrestling and give our opinion or tell you who should be the champ, or you can get that shit on any podcast. I have heard, actually, I'm going to go on a little rant here for a second, because over the last week, and I watch a lot of wrestling podcasts, a lot of wrestling stuff, I have heard bad take after bad take after bad take after bad take. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but oh man, I just can't wait to do this, to have some fun with it. We are going to fantasy book some AEW versus WWE matches. Now,
I 100% feel like I'm on an episode of Hollywood Squares.
X
gets the square.
I was going to get two more, but I didn't want to have too many people. We got just enough people. We all dealt with it. We're going to come.
I feel like empty down here. I'm alone. Where's my fucking side?
Let's move you up here.
There
You can have the side. Ray wants the side piece.
Now I'm the guy that didn't bring friends.
Okay, let's make it a little more realistic. Let's put easy button.
On an island of his own.
I like being down here.
So I have a wheel to spin to see who goes first. Ray loves our big high-tech wheel that we bring in here. But because my laptop sucks balls, and if I share it, it's going to fuck everything up, I'm going to spin the wheel off the air and let you know who goes first. My first idea is we are going to make an 8-match card. You guys in the live
said we look like the Brady Bunch right now.
Here's a story of a wrestling podcast.
The effed up
youngest one in curls.
So I'll spin the wheel. I'll let you know who goes first. Here's the idea: 8 cards, 8 matches in the card. The final 3 has to be a women's match, a tag match, and a 6-man match. The first 4 are going to be singles matches.
Got it.
So yeah,
got it.
So we did see. If anybody missed
agree.
what happened after
I missed that.
Dynamite, it was hilarious.
I loved it.
Danhausen basically cursed William Regal, and Regal sold the shit out of him.
Yeah, he did.
Of course he did. He's William Regal.
It was fantastic. Another thing before we get into this, I want to talk about. And I don't know if anyone's heard about this, but it's kind of big news at wrestling. It could make a big difference in the future. I think it might be good, but who knows? Discovery has bought out Warner Media. And they're talking about what does that have to do with AEW in the future. So now there's a
scary thing.
Go ahead.
Because
Go ahead, Ray.
you think about it, this is what happened to WCW near the end when AOL bought out Turner.
True.
Yeah.
So I have heard now that Discovery would like a PG wrestling product, which God, I hope not, because I think that's one of the main things that differentiate AEW from WWE is the fact that they don't go full Attitude Era, but they definitely have a harder edge
Yes.
than
for sure.
than what WWE has.
Doesn't this all make me look smarter?
Oh,
No.
fuck.
No,
Here we
not at
go.
all.
Not at all.
Not
He's
at all.
getting his knee pads on to have V and M on each one, please.
We normally do touch base, and we'll touch base a little bit on what's coming up on AEW and some of the shows coming up, because we will be going, as I keep reminding you guys. But let's go ahead. My first instinct was, let's look at the whole roster so we have a visual, but we were looking at this shit, and that's just way too much. This is the Raw roster, and it's crazy. And most of these we wouldn't book in a fantasy match anyway. The SmackDown roster, same thing. We wouldn't book most of these people in a fantasy match. AEW, son of a bitch, they have a bigger freaking roster, because you got page 1, you got page 2, and you got page freaking 3 with everybody on there right now. And
They got kids.
And that, yeah, they got a lot.
Yeah.
So what I did was kind of condensed it into this one that we can use for reference, with most of the big names on both sides. Now, obviously, we talked about this off the air before we came on here. If you're going to book a one-on-one match with AEW, I mean, Moxley, Joe, some of these, they fought a lot of those guys already. So if you're going to pick someone from AEW, put them against Walter, LA Knight, Braun, some of the ones we haven't seen. Everybody in the live chat, you guys, let me know what
Ray's
your dream matches
favorite,
are.
Butch.
Yeah, let me know what your dream match is. We will pick one
Get me
out of the
started,
live
mother-
chat for the 8th one. So let's find out who's up first to give us a one-on-one match. I'm going to spin the wheel off air. So you just got to trust me. It looks like it's me first. Yes, it's me first. All right.
Another rigged election. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon.
Well,
Yeah,
my
go ahead, Brandon.
My original plan was to not be a part of it and have 2 people from the chat, but I'll do this first. So, my first one, I thought about it pretty hard, and I was trying to pick something that other people might not pick. And I'm going to hold on. Let me throw the banner up here, because we're going to put our match card along the bottom as well. So my first fantasy match, I was going to do one with Darby, but I'll leave that because I think someone else might want to use Darby. So I'm going to go Rey Fénix versus Rey Mysterio.
Ooh.
That's actually
I
very
like
good.
it.
I like
I
that.
like that a lot. Actually.
Something that I don't think we've ever seen, or they've never been. And it's kind of like a new, Rey Fénix, hopefully when he's better, obviously. But Rey Fénix versus Rey Mysterio. I don't know what you guys think of that one. Hey, Vince, tell me what you think about that matchup if you get to see that one.
Well, it'd definitely be a good cruiserweight match, no doubt about it. Rey Mysterio can still go. And we know he's getting near the end there, but he can still put on a good match. And Rey Fénix is in his prime. I mean, that'd be a good match. It'd be fun and entertaining and high flying and a lot of action.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I thought, and I was going to go. So remember, guys, the last 3 will have to pick either a women's match, a tag match, or a 6-man match. All right, so let's go ahead and pick our second, and it is going to be, there goes Easy E. Here comes Vince. Looks like it's Vince. All right,
Okay.
you are up on the dock. All right, Vince. One-on-one match, AEW versus WWE. What you got for us?
Coming down the aisle at this time, it's going to be The Miz going up against MJF.
Oh, good match.
I love it.
That's been teased with all the promos and stuff they broke. So tell me a little about it, Vince. What would you imagine? What would you envision in this match between these two if it would happen?
Shenanigans.
I think it should start with a promo war first or something.
Oh, it has to. Oh my God! Can you imagine? I mean, we thought CM Punk and MJF was amazing. I think this is a next level thing because my God, the Miz is gold with a microphone. I love that guy. And MJF, I mean, he's just a throwback to the days of the Ric Flairs, the Dusty Rhodes, the guys that were just the microphone was their wand. And I miss the old days of wrestling when most of wrestling during Saturday was guys talking you into going to the building to see the matches. And that's all gone now.
Yeah.
But those two guys, they can still do that.
As far as the promo war goes, though, I mean, you'd have totally different opinions because we've seen The Miz whenever he's challenged about his record, like whenever he was feuding with Bryan and things like that. I mean, The Miz's record speaks for itself. He has had longevity. He's won every title. He's done everything, but he's not seen as that kind of guy. So he could attack that. Now, MJF, we know, is a total dick. And he would go after Maurice. He would go after the Miz's dad. He would go
He sure
after
would.
the
Their kid.
history. I mean, it would be one of
Baby.
those. It would be one of those feud wars where like it would turn the Miz babyface in a heartbeat because you'd just be like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit!"
Oh, wait,
As
And he's been
MJF is
there
throwing
before, and
body
he can pull
shots.
that off too.
but when this happens, could this be when AEW goes PG? And then we
God.
Oh,
No.
all right. Can we get?
Fuck.
Take
Mute him.
that word out of your mouth.
Mute him, please.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
seriously, but no. So,
Elaborate. Go ahead.
let's say this happens in WWE. Let's say that in 2024 when MJF's contract's up. Let's say it actually happens. Let's say it happens in WWE.
Okay.
Is the feud just as good as it would be if MJF is censored?
No.
No, I
No,
think
not at all.
I think part of MJF's, not that he wouldn't be good at everything. I 100% think that he is a fantastic all over the board, ring work, mic work, everything. However, part of MJF's appeal as the heel is being the heel that will just go where no one else will go.
Right.
There is no line he won't cross. There is no thing he won't attack. And in WWE, you're obviously going to be limited by that. I mean, in addition to
Being scripted.
in addition to being scripted, and even if they gave him some freedom, I think though they're not going to let him walk that line, as far over just because of the look. Like we consider AEW and WWE to be right here, but in the grand scheme of things, WWE is a corporate conglomerate, multi-billion-dollar company, and their standards and practices are a lot higher than what AEW's are, and they're not going to let some of that shit filter through.
So let's talk about something that I didn't think would happen, but has, and that's now we're just saying that MJF would go over and he wouldn't be able to say as much things as he did. I didn't think that Cody Rhodes would be able to be saying some of the banned words that he's saying. What do you guys think of that? CJ,
Yeah, but it's a step in the right direction.
It is.
Now, for me to actually believe it, I need to see it happen continuously.
What about you, Doc? Would that kind of surprise you that he's breaking the forbidden words, if you can say that? And
No, because he's so used to saying it. He was so used to saying it here that now he's doing it there, and you heard miscorrect him real quick.
Exactly.
So who knows? Who knows if Vince wasn't in someone's ear going, correct him, or if Miz was like, I gotta save this dude, from getting his ass chewed out. It could be either way, but then again, Miz used it to his advantage. Miz made himself sound like one just pretty much self-sufficient son of a bitch, and that's what he's good at. So,
But I also kind of think that that's part of Cody's character right now. The way they're billing him with him wanting to
anti-WWE, kind of.
not necessarily anti-WWE, but I'm saying more of an old school wrestler where he's saying he wants to, he wants to live up to his dad's, and surpass his dad's thing, and he's billing himself more as the old school wrestler, not the sports entertainer. Now they can't come out and do that storyline because the AEW is already doing it with Jericho, but
which is beautiful, by the way.
I think it's kind of like that. I think that that's going to be part of Cody's character going forward, where he almost is challenging the Vince McMahon mandates, etc., within reason.
I hope so.
Good stuff. All right, let's see who's next. Another singles match coming up here, and it will be, there goes Anthony, here comes Ray. It is Ray.
Fuck.
I really wanted a tag match. All right.
I'll trade you.
You can trade it.
All right, go ahead, Doc. Go for it.
All right.
There's no
all you,
rules
brother.
here. Let's have fun.
Fine. I'll take this. I would definitely book Hook taking on, and I'm going to change his goddamn name back to Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight.
Nice one. I dig
I
that
like
one.
that.
that.
Yeah,
I like that
two-
a lot, actually.
Business only, no holds barred, non-shit taking people beating the living hell out of each other, the suplexes, the everything. I think it would be a phenomenal matchup.
Good call. Good call.
I like
match.
that a lot.
Good call.
Yeah.
That's I had the Miz
Thank
and
you, Ray.
MJF as one of mine. I had Hook, but I didn't. I was like, who could I put with Hook? Who would someone put for Hook? And that's a very
Pete.
That's a very
I was thinking
Motherfucking
Riddle was
Dunne.
Hook, but I like Dunn.
Yeah.
I like, and I thought about Riddle. Don't get me wrong, Ray. I did. I thought about Riddle for just a second, but I thought, with RK Bro as big as they are, I kind of already booked a tag team match with them. But when I saw Hook and I looked up and I was like, who would be? And I thought, my God, him and Pete Dunne, just that silence, just that holy shit factor. Especially if they didn't announce who Hook's opponent was, like who's it going to be. And then you heard his old music kick, and he just come out like walking like this.
I better not call him Butch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You changed his name back to Pete Dunne. His mama call him Pete Dunne. I'm gonna call him Pete Dunne. All right.
All right, that's a very good one. Very good. We got some good ones in the chat too. Make sure, guys, let's try not to do ones that have already been done. Like Cody, I know you break the rules. Jericho versus Edge. Come on, man. You could think of something better than that. Lesnar and Cage we got here. We got Orton and
I got an ugly 6-man too, man. I got an ugly 6-man.
Big shout out to Mitch Kofsky, a boy from Jersey doing Philadelphia sports streams here on YouTube. Great dude. Make sure you guys check out Mitch out there.
Mm-hmm. Let's go, Pens.
Mitch, my old college roommate, Mitch Kumstein.
Yes.
Had to bring up the National Lampoon's reference.
Yes, you did.
Okay, it is. Well, it's Doc, but we already had Doc. We can't give it to Ray because go ahead and book your tag match now, Ray.
Okay. So basically what I want to see, I really want to do a 4 corners match, but on the tag match thing, I want to see
4 corners. Do whatever you want, bro. It's
okay.
Book a dream match and tell us about it. That's
what I want more than anything else as far as this whole shebang goes is I want to see Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole versus AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
Holy shit.
We have the battle of the Bullet Club.
Love it. I love
it.
The
craziest work rate you've ever seen. And there's so much story in there because you literally have every generation of the Bullet Club. Finn started it. AJ took it over. Kenny took it over. Adam Cole took it over even for a short time.
It has to happen in Japan, though. Can't happen in AEW. Cannot happen.
That would be amazing in the Tokyo Dome. People
don't make me agree with you, Easy.
No, I agree with you. That's fantastic. But that match for the history and then just the think of the workers in that match and you give them 30 minutes and you're going to tear the damn house down.
So who goes over?
I'll
put you on the spot now.
I almost have some conversations.
I almost think it has to be Finn.
Why Finn?
Because
he started the whole fucking thing, man.
Okay. History.
Yeah,
Prince Devitt started the Bullet Club, and especially if you're going to do it in Japan, he would have been the longest tenured away from Japan as far as that goes, and to have the original founder of the Bullet Club holding his head high at the end of that match, that would be something else.
Cool. I dig it.
Who does he pin?
Cole. As much as
Cole?
I think
yeah.
Oh shit.
Much history there. Cole had the shortest tenure in New Japan and the shortest tenure in the Bullet Club. So that would be my
okay, Ray. Now we're gonna rebook it. It's a tag match. Omega and Cole versus Styles and Balor. How's that one go?
Oh. I'm actually still going to go with the old school guys. I think it would be AJ and Finn going over. Again, I think the chemistry of those two would be much better. You have so much internal kind of strife between Cole and Omega that would give you a good reason to let them fuck the matchup. You know what I mean? To let them come to odds with each other and give the finish to, Finn and AJ, who we've seen. And that one match, which was an impromptu match in WWE, I don't know if you guys remember, whenever there was a flight issue, and we actually got to see Finn and AJ with a 20-minute match, and it was fucking amazing. I can't remember what pay-per-view that was, but I think they would work just as well as a tag team, too. Like, the overall chemistry there of all 4 of those guys, they can work with anybody. It would just be amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a win-win situation no matter how you book it, I think.
That's definitely the one that the AJ Styles I'd like to see fight some of the guys. He's one of my last favorite wrestlers that are still over in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got 3 left. Anthony, CJ, and Eazy-E. And this one is going to be from the side, CJ Sensation.
Okay. What am I doing?
One-on-one. You got the last
one-on-one?
And we got a 6-man and a women's match left after that.
Okay, can you bring up the never mind. I don't need it. Need it.
Okay, sorry.
We are going Wardlow versus Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
Okay.
A battle of the powerhouses.
All right, CJ. Tell us how it goes.
Obviously they're both big powerhouse guys. I think that you allow Wardlow to show off more of his athletic side to maybe try and one up Brock. And it's, I mean, you've seen how Wardlow's been tossing around AEW security the past few weeks. He's fucking demolishing these guys. So I think it would be a very hard hitting match. And obviously I'm going to be biased and pick Wardlow to go over because I think it does more for Wardlow going over than it does for Brock.
All right, Doc, I saw that face. Tell me what's up. What's going through your head with that one?
Nah, I'll keep it to myself.
Look, I love Wardlow, but he can't go over. I'm sorry.
No.
Why?
If Wardlow goes over, he has to outsmart him, not outpower him, not beat him around.
Exactly.
And another thing too, if it happens, I want a handshake at the middle of the ring. I don't want to where he just beats him and leaves him laying there. I mean, Brock gets up, acknowledges him, and shakes his hand, and kind of passes the torch.
The same reason you're giving for Wardlow, you got to give for Braun Breaker because they're the exact same guy at this point.
I disagree. I disagree 100%.
So I had Wardlow versus
your other eye.
I had Wardlow versus Walters when I wanted to see, but definitely the Lesnar one.
I had my single match, if we didn't switch things around, was going to be Brock versus Paige.
Cool.
Battle of the Cowboys and whatnot. But
I was going to say, doesn't she still have a concussion?
To put anybody over Brock that's not named Roman Reigns right now is pretty hard.
So
it's fantasy.
I love the Paige joke, but I have no idea.
So I'm going to take a little executive decision here for the last two. Anthony, I want you to book our women's match. AEW 101 versus WWE.
All right. Just out of selfishness, I got to go with my girl Britt Baker versus Charlotte Flair, just because Charlotte's probably the best women's wrestler, in my opinion, that's ever done it. You know what I mean? So just seeing that generational talent, WWE's finest versus what is AEW's hottest. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that'd be really cool. Just the two biggest women kind of combating each other.
What's the name of her finisher?
Who, Brits or Charlotte's?
Brit.
The figure eight?
That's Charlotte's. That's Charlotte's.
Brit.
God, my bad. Are you talking about the jaw thing?
Yeah. That's right. Never mind. I was confusing that for a minute with the Anna Jay and the Queen Slayer, but that's what I was thinking.
So who wins that, Anthony? I know you're biased. Is Britt actually?
I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so I would like to see Britt go over. Anybody that wears a terrible towel behind them in Cleveland, I want to go over.
I love it.
I mean, honestly, I would imagine Charlotte would go over just because she's definitely the bigger name and everything like that. So, if it was real life, I'd imagine Charlotte goes over. Fantasy for me, it'd have to be Britt Baker just because.
Yep, that's why I said Wardlow.
I mean, you definitely have a good promo war there because Charlotte is the establishment. She's grown up in it, born in it, everything, and Britt is the epitome of a self-made. You know what I mean? She's absolutely from nothing essentially and burst onto the scene, became a huge superstar. Even in the indie world, if you look at someone like Thunder Rosa, she's been all over the place. She's NWA, everything. Britt really worked around here in local indies, and then boom, she became a mainstream star. It's kind of one of those shot in the dark successes, and that could make a really good promo basis of, you were born into it to be the best. I'm the best just because I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
My women's match was Jade versus Bianca. Is one I'd like to see if I'm going to pick one from each one.
The work rate would be terrible, but the lead up would be great.
Well, this would be like 4 years down the line. I like
your thinking on that. And again, if Jade wasn't so green, and that's fault of her
down the line. Yeah, down the line a little more. Anybody else got a women's match that they were thinking of? Doc? No.
Yeah, actually, I'd say Sasha Banks, and I would have to say Thunder Rosa.
Ooh,
yeah,
I think that would be. I think that would
be a banger.
Yeah, I like it. I just think Sasha makes her look completely stupid.
Nia Jax versus Nyla Rose.
That's
battle of the who's gonna break whose nose.
Yeah,
who injures who first?
They can have this big.
Everybody's forgetting about Becky Lynch. Everybody's forgetting about Becky here, though.
No,
who would you put against Becky?
AEW's women's division is terrible.
Statlander.
4 people.
Mute him, please.
Why? Because I'm right?
Because you're making this not fun.
Right. You're not.
You're not making this fun. You just enjoy shitting on AEW no matter what fucking we're talking about.
No, I'm
yeah,
not.
we do. I wish someone would blacken your other fucking
You
eye.
guys keep saying, well, what
Jesus
about
Christ.
you're booking
They're both fun to watch. Both fun to watch.
Yep.
I agree 100%. But you guys can't face a fact. There's 4 women in AEW.
Fuck.
Oh Jesus! Here we go. All right, so let's get to the point. Here's the point. You get a six. You get a book. Do you know 3 people
Please let
on
him book
AEW?
one.
You get
Maybe a
book
midget match.
Do you
Or a
want to
fucking
book a
bra and
6-man
panties.
match?
Yeah, let me see it because I'm not going to pick people obviously that have already been picked, and I actually have some decent people because obviously I'm starting any match with Seth Rollins because I know that I can face it, right?
Okay.
And if I'm going straight WWE versus AEW, I'm going to go with a guy like Cody just because the same style, and then I'm going to go with Riddle, I think.
That's Cody and Riddle.
Throw it a little bit off.
Okay.
But on the other side of the equation, that's where it gets a little tricky because I like a guy. I mean, I'm an Adam Cole guy if I'm not going to pick somebody that's already been picked. But with that being said, I think Scorpio Sky would be a decent one with the 2 littler guys and Seth Rollins and Cody. So let's go Scorpio Sky. Let's go.
It really takes you a hard time to pick AEW people, doesn't it? You
Well,
really
because
don't know
you
anything
told, me
about
I can't pick, you told me I can't pick guys that work.
You can. I didn't say you can't. You can pick whoever you want, bro. It's your dream match.
Guys, dude, it's a dream match.
It's your dream match.
My dream match then is very simple. If I can use, I'm going with Adam Cole, Scorpio Sky, and Kenny Omega against Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Riddle.
I have no problem.
I like
with that.
it.
I think that's a
I
great.
like
I think
it a
that would be a
lot.
hell of a match.
But,
It'd be
you know,
a
I
good
would
match.
go by the rules that you were given, and so that's why I said it that way. That same way when I said my woman's comment, because you went, what about this person? Well, if they've already been picked, you can't pick another person to go against that.
Okay, you're good.
So can I throw a wrench? Can I throw a wrench into this a little bit?
Please do.
All right, I got somebody here that wants to give their dream AEW versus WWE.
We have one spot left, and then we've already shown the chat's pick, so we're going to give spot number 8 to good old Bodie. Let's see what he's.
All right, Bodie, go ahead. Come here.
Okay.
All right, it is a dream matchup. Remember that. So, who is your dream AEW versus WWE match?
Probably a Survivor Series match.
1-on-1.
Oh no, 1-on-1. It has to be 1-on-1. Who would it be?
Darby versus who?
Darby versus who? Right?
Darby probably versus Ricochet.
Okay. Darby versus Ricochet.
I like it.
All right.
Good. It is good.
That was the most predictable, but also that would be an amazing match.
Yes.
I thought he was going to say Kofi, to be honest with you, because we have a dog named Kofi. So,
Six-man
actually,
tag
Kofi
match.
Xavier E. Doherty. Thank you. That's the dog's
Six-man
name.
tag match, just a little food for thought. I know they're WWE guys, but how about House of Black versus Edge, Priest, and Ciampa?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
here's
a good one.
Here's the tag
That'd be
match. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Orton and Riddle.
That's
That'd be
a
great,
good
too.
one too.
See, my 6-man match was Roman and the Usos versus Omega and the Bucks.
And
That was exactly mine too.
Yeah, that's good.
That was what
That's
I'd have
good.
picked too,
I
man.
want to see the Bloodline versus the Elite, baby. That would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Xia Li versus Sheeta.
This
Yeah,
is great.
another
So
good
if
one.
you see below scrolling is the entire card that we just booked, 8 matches. What I'm going to do is on my channel, I'm going to make that match, that whole card happen digitally. So I'm going to download those characters, and I'm going to have that as one of my shows coming up here. Maybe one of these Thursdays after one of our shows. We'll do it digitally. We'll do AI versus AI and see how these matches actually come out.
Hey, Brooklyn Joker.
Awesome.
Good match, but 25 years ago, yes.
That the dream matches don't have to be right now, but yeah, a lot of people want to see that.
Everybody wants to see that.
Becky
Yeah,
Lynch
Everybody's been
versus
dreaming to
Cody
see
Rhodes.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
you're a trip. I love it. There you go.
Who would be a good opponent for Becky, though? If you think about it, who would be a good opponent for Becky?
Chris Statlander.
I like Statlander.
I know they
I
were
like
both-
Statlander too.
If
You
you're
know what,
just
that'd be a good
if you're
one.
going roster versus roster, it'd be Ruby Soho versus Becky.
Yeah.
I mean,
What?
that would be your.
Yeah, but that's already been done.
I know
Yeah.
that. That's what
Yeah,
I said.
that's-
But if you're going roster for roster,
Right.
you need a high level woman.
I even forgot about Ruby being there.
Yeah.
You need a high level woman, and it would have to be, in my opinion, either Toni Storm or Ruby. And yes, they were both technically in WWE, but I don't think either one of them. Toni never worked Becky, to my knowledge, and I don't think Ruby, even though she did work Becky,
she did either.
It was never like anything major or anything special. And I think Ruby's a different worker outside of WWE.
Yeah, there's a lot of
FTR versus Usos would be an amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of matches
Absolutely.
that could have happened in WWE before the big shift happened, but didn't. Like between the NXT guys that were there and the main roster.
Well, that's the only problem with FTR in this whole booking thing that I was worried about is like your main tag teams, with the exception of RK Bro, essentially, FTR's already worked all of them.
Yeah.
Now, granted, again, their work rate now is a lot different than it was then because the handcuffs are off, and now they're putting. I love the 6-star FTR
banger
shirt.
after banger.
Yeah, the 6-star FTR shirt is fucking awesome. I want one.
Street Profits versus Private Party. Who stole who?
Yeah.
That's one. That was my tag match. That was my tag
Loser
match.
retires the gimmick.
Here's the good thing about this is, you know what? The world we're living in and how things are changing, who's to say that some of these don't actually happen in the future?
That's that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this.
A match of stars, it'd have to be like an all-star game style thing,
Yep.
I think
They
you
could
should
do
add,
it though.
I think you should add 2 special attraction matches, Blaze. We had the Sting and the Undertaker in the comments. That's the dream match for everybody. And then I think you should book Nick Khan versus Toady Khan in the Battle of the Khans.
Khan!
I will say this: if you were to ever have an AEW versus WWE event, the payout for that would be great. And you think about it, if it starts at 1, you have one every single year. The first one ends in a schmoz. You go tie game, couple
Basically, you
AEW,
want
couple
bragging rights.
AEW. Hold on. Yeah, I know what I want. You want bragging rights. Yes, I sort of like bragging rights. But what you do is you don't do it like often. You do it once a year. Once a year, this happens, folks. And then you have it in one of the biggest places you can.
Yep. And
you have this all-out card where you build up for maybe like 2 months. Give it like 2 to 3 months build. Hey, and once in a while, an AEW guy will show up, beat up whoever he's, facing. Oh, I want to see what you're like because I'm going to be seeing you in about a month or two. So just build it. And then what happens is you start letting people win. Like, okay, if they have it in Jacksonville, of course, you give it to AEW that year.
Yeah.
You have it in Connecticut, WWE. You start kind of like the home field advantage. But the first one, you end it in a schmoz. The main event goes down to the wire. And somebody from somewhere, they both come at the same time, and they both hit the corresponding parties, 2 interferences, and you schmoz the whole fucking thing, keeping people hungry for more.
Yeah, very good.
Well, I like Brooklyn Jokers, Kenny Omega and John Cena.
That'd be kind
those are the types. That's a dream, man.
Omega wouldn't be able to do this. He couldn't see him.
We've seen WWE when they get Saudi money book a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah.
India's the biggest market. We now saw Tony Khan kissing India's ass on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So apparently, let's have India put up $17 billion, and the Khans will come together, and we'll get our dream cards.
Yes, the Khans.
Bring Paulie back and have him fight that that basketball player. Not your joke.
They put the money in a suitcase and put it up about 20 feet high in the ring and let them fight it out over a ladder.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
I love it.
So we have time to talk about, because there's some big stuff coming up, not only this weekend, but also on Wednesday. As I keep mentioning, Dynamite, couple matches have already been booked. So after this, we'll be back and we'll do one more segment of some of the big matches that are coming up soon. And then we'll close this out. But first, here's a word on how to become a member here on the Blaze Radio Network here on YouTube.
This is a recording.
All right. Appreciate everybody out there, members, super chats, all that good stuff. Couldn't do it without you guys and girls out there. So let's talk about, we talked about everything else, but let's talk about what's going down. And we get everybody's opinions as we wind this down about what's going down here in the next week of professional wrestling. Tomorrow night, we have Rampage on an early
Special start time, everybody. Yes.
7 p.m. Eastern, which is...
I fucked that up last time and waited till 10.
So the club versus the club, first off. Doc, what do you think about this 6-man match coming up tomorrow night?
I think the Gun Club gets fucking wrecked.
The Gun Club are undefeated.
Yeah, they're undefeated, but do you see what's standing ahead of them? Those are 2-3 men. That man in the end wrote those initials in his own blood on the fucking chest. They're was dope. I think that the Ass Boys go back to the Ass Ranch and do ass things, because I think that is exactly where the Blackpool Combat Club sends them.
Gotcha. Hey, Vince, what do you think about this Blackpool Combat Club?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I didn't really see the tie at the beginning so much, other than Regal trying to bring them together, but it's a good chemistry they have going. It is somewhat complementary yet conflicting styles that work really well off of each other. And I wasn't necessarily a big Yuta fan in the beginning, but I'm starting
to like now, I bet.
Yeah. No, I'm really starting to like him. That was a hell of a match a week ago, man. It's like, damn, that boy's still in some Macho Man blood there.
Yes.
Yeah, he's earning his popularity right now.
I kind of think that's the whole thing about this Blackpool Combat Club, though. Like, everybody was like, "Oh, why would you do this with Danielson and Ambrose?" Ambrose and Moxley, two of your biggest stars. But the way that they're putting it together with the technical wizardry of Danielson, the violence of Mox, and then you kind of feel like you're starting to see that Yuta has the blend of both and is going to be mentored by both because he's technical. We're seeing this crazy violent side of him that he can turn on. And as much as it seems like a modge podge of people, I think it's really going to work. And tomorrow night, I just want to see Billy Gunn and Moxley beat the shit out of each other.
And can I politely correct Brooklyn Joker real quick? It's not Ricky Stark's belt. It's the ROH Pure Championship.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was waiting for someone to fix that. I will say this about Yuta. Yuta's come a long way from where he started in AEW, and what I love about it is the fact that he defected from the Best Friends. He was like, this is just not working for me. I'm done with the hugging. I'm done with the thumbs up. It's time to hurt people.
That brings up a question, though. They mentioned Daniel Garcia, didn't they, before? Do you think they pull him away from his new little group?
No. I'm okay with that.
I actually think that's I think yes, because I think that's going to be the basis of a storyline feud between the two. Because you're also seeing, obviously, Regal's group is the Blackpool Combat Club are wrestlers. They're billing themselves as wrestlers. You have Jericho's group billing themselves as sports entertainers. And I think the conflict starts with Daniel Garcia being courted away and ends up in a 4-on-4 possible blood and guts match between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I'd be down with that.
But does the Jericho Appreciation Society, do they get another person, or do they just
they lose
Garcia? They just lose him? Okay. I just was wondering.
Then you're at 4-on-4.
All right, you got a point there.
And we have Adam and Adam again, and a rematch, a Texas Death Match tomorrow. Anthony, who do you think comes out? You think Cole gets the title or not? You think Hangman holds on?
Man, I don't know. I could really see Adam Cole getting a nice push here.
Me too.
It's going to be good either way, though. Like, I think it'll be good to continually build new stars. Not that Adam Cole isn't a star already by any stretch of the imagination, but I think putting over new talent's definitely good. And Hangman's gotten his his run with it, so I think it'd be cool to see little Adam Cole baby.
I mean, I don't know if this is a consensus or not. I don't mind Hangman Page, but it hasn't been a real eventful championship run.
Yeah,
Ray, what do you think?
Until the past couple weeks.
I was gonna say it would be kind of sad to take it off him right now because I feel like the last couple weeks have been his best. The promo 2 weeks ago was his best promo as champion, the most moxie he's had. But I'm gonna call it like this: Hangman retains if Kenny Omega shows up and fucks it up. We know Omega's kind of due to be back. We've been waiting for the Omega Bucks versus Cole Red Dragon storyline. So I think Cole goes over unless Kenny's ready to return, and that costs him the match and kicks into that feud, and then lets Paige go on to Punk.
All right. Here, I can't wait to get this answer. Is even there? Easy E, who wins this match? Or do you care?
Adam Cole, baby.
All right, there you go.
He's a huge
All right.
Adam Cole fan. That's
true. That's true. Cole could get it. Okay, now this is Saturday. We have a special show, 3 championship fights. Rosa Rose. We got the Rose Battle of the Roses here. Vince, what do you think?
That is absolutely nothing for me.
So Vince, we got Rose versus Rose. Do you think we see a new champ?
I don't like Ryan Rose. No.
If Thunder Rosa doesn't win, we riot.
Yeah.
I agree. Enough said.
I say Rosa just for the fact that she just got it. You know, you want to give her that healthy run, just like you gave Britt the healthy run, and Nyla's already had her run. So
I kind of feel like Nyla's settling into the place on the roster of like she's the gatekeeper now. So like when the champion first wins, or like when you're trying to build somebody new, like she's a believable feud that they could have and go over, and it doesn't hurt her because she's the
Jake Roberts.
Shout out to CE
like in Natalia. Of
like
AEW.
an Natalia type thing.
Or a QT Marshall.
Yes.
Always putting over the younger guys.
All right, now we got Scorpio Sky defending against Sammy G. Doc, tell me about this one. What do you think happens?
I think Scorpio Sky goes over again. I think you give Scorpio Sky a run. I will say it till the day I die. I think this guy needs pushed to the moon. Scorpio Sky has a great promo ability. He has great in-ring ability. And I'm not taking anything away from Guevara, but Guevara's had the belt for a while. I mean, he's had it twice now, I think. And the thing is, let Scorpio run with this, man. Let Scorpio go and just prove once and for all that, you know, he belongs here. He belongs to be a top guy in AEW, and I think this right here, this match, could solidify that.
Yeah, I think it could be a banger.
To use Doc's term, obviously you're going to have Lambert and what's her face?
Shenanigans.
Paige Van Zandt.
Paige Van Zandt. She's so hot.
Shenanigans.
But there's going to be shenanigans in that, which will then challenge for the mixed tag match that's going to happen here eventually. So I think that because of that, Sky retains, and he needs to. Like Doc said, he's way too good to be buried on the card.
Yeah.
Way too good.
Agreed.
No,
like my heart broke when he was holding that brass ring when they did that stupid thing with the ladder and the brass ring. Get the fuck out of here. I was so pissed about that.
So now we're getting some shine with some ROH guys are going to get some shine on AEW TV this Saturday. I'm really glad to see this happen. I haven't seen a lot of Dalton. I know he's very flamboyant.
He's awesome. He's amazing.
Awesome.
He's amazing.
So this should be an entertaining match, if anything.
It's a definite contrast to Styles because they're both. I'm sorry, CJ. I took your shot.
No, good.
I'm going. Obviously, I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with both of these gentlemen. But as far as wrestling goes, I'm going Gresham. Even though I believe Castle was a former heavyweight champion or some sort of champion in ROH.
No, he was.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so. Yeah. But all around, I mean, both guys are very talented top to bottom. But just for the pure wrestling fact of it, I'm going Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah. Ray,
what I was saying is it's just a major contrast in styles. But yet it's not. They are both great technical wrestlers. Dalton Castle is a former collegiate wrestler. He works a technical style, but he does it with the flamboyance and the comedy. And I think that that's going to play into the match is that it's going to piss Gresham off as he's trying to work and Dalton's trying to piss around.
Yep.
And we'll maybe get to see that hard edge of Gresham that we saw like at the end of the Bandito match where he like turns it on into a more intense style. And I think it's going to be really great to see these guys on national TV and let them get a real spotlight that they have not had.
I mean, I said that back when we did the news that ROH was bought by Tony Khan is like, will he mesh the two and start using Bosch? And to see it already, I think is amazing. I appreciate it. I thought maybe it might take a while, but he's going right into it. I dig it.
I really feel like that's what the major announcement we're going to hear next Wednesday is. They've teased that Tony's making a major announcement.
ROH
I feel
TV?
like it's either going to be one or both of their streaming service, which we know they've been in talks with HBO Max, or a TV deal for ROH. Yeah. Or it could possibly be both. Maybe they're launching the streaming service and ROH will be the focal show of the streaming service or something like that.
I hope it's not. I know we heard the video game news. Or I hope it's not the video game news. I want a surprise. I don't want something I've already heard.
I'm selfish.
I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to announce the video game yet.
So
even if it is a September release.
I had to throw this one in because it intrigued me. It's a New Japan show, and there's some other good matches on this. We got Ishii versus Suzuki, Lawler versus Nagata. Jay White has an open challenge as well. So some really cool matches that end up and New Japan's doing on these shows here in America. Vince, do you have any take on these at New Japan doing these shows here in the States?
Oh, goodness. My New Japan knowledge is pretty limited. When they had well, I guess they still have the TV program that is over here, and I was watching it for a little while back when Cody was doing it, and even Omega was on it at that time. So I watched some of it and got some of the names down, but I don't know it well. In this particular matchup here, we got up on the screen, I would definitely think Moxley's probably the guy they're going to have go over, just based on name recognition. Not that Ospreay is not a name that a lot of the wrestling fans are going to recognize, but I just think Moxley, he's got the national platform. I think there's more to be had there, more to be lost there if he doesn't go over.
What do you guys think about the Tony Khan making these? I love the fact he's saying there's major announcement all the time. I don't give a fuck what people say. I love that. That makes me want to watch. I don't care if he does it. He doesn't do it every week, but I dig it. It's what I
as long as they actually are major announcements. Yeah. That's the thing. You got to deliver.
It's a good marketing scheme. It's definitely a good marketing scheme.
Do you think it's too much, Ray? Do you think they're doing too much of the big announcement? I don't.
No, the bottom line is you're trying to pop a rating. So yes, he could have made the Ring of Honor announcement in a press release on their website or on something else, but that doesn't pop a rating. Him doing it on live national TV, and then we get treated to a gem of a match with Bryan and Danielson to harken back to that. It makes that announcement not only special, but again, I'm sure that helped the rating a little bit that week. It gives some luster to, what's going on. The sad thing is in today's wrestling age, and part of it's our fault. I mean, it is our fault we are the internet wrestling community. There is no spoilers anymore, really. We don't get the old, late 90s WCW, WWE, where like, holy shit, Scott Hall just showed up because we know that shit in advance. So the only surprises we get is stuff like this, where like we get to now speculate for a week of what the announcement's going to be, and hopefully it lives up to it. And if not, we're going to bitch and piss and moan about it for the next 2 weeks because it didn't live up to it, or we're going to talk about how fucking awesome it is because it did live up to it.
Go ahead, E.
I'm just going to say, let's go back to the match at hand that we see here and talk about how great this match could be. Because Vince, you haven't heard of Will Ospreay, right? Will Ospreay is probably the second biggest name not signed to a big company right now.
Yeah.
And Will Ospreay has wrestled in New Japan. He's ROH Impact. He's wrestled everywhere. All the big high flying moves are probably the Will Ospreay that you're seeing. Even Evan Bourne is out there doing the same stuff. But the problem is they need Jon Moxley for the name.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't think the match will be bad, but this is such a contrast to styles. But when you see Ospreay work, you want to see like him and Ricochet. Like that match that they had a few years ago was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I just thought the match stuck out, so I figured we'd talk about it a little bit. But what we're really going to talk about is what's going to go down next Wednesday, and we will be there in attendance. I believe row R, I think we're in or something on the hard camera, so we might not be we're not on the floor like we used to be, but we're going to have some good time. We'll do some streams on the way down there and talk about some of the matches that are already made, and we're going to get Britt versus Camilla as a qualifier. And I'm so used to thinking
Danielle Camilla is.
She'll be done in 2 minutes.
I'm so
2 to 3 tops.
Oh my God. I'm so used to Britt Baker as the champion. At first, when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute. Then I went, oh, that's right. She's not champ anymore.
Yeah.
2 to 3 minutes tops. That Danielle's 1, 2, 3.
She had a great run, though.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any question who's going to win here in Pittsburgh, unless there's shenanigans, but I doubt it. Whoever this chick is. They got to get Britt in that tournament.
Danielle Camilla worked for WWE. She was in NXT as Vanessa Bourne.
Oh,
okay.
That's how she's familiar.
Okay.
So I mean, she can work, but obviously, it's not going to be anything.
Jungle Boy taking on a new guy named Kyle O'Ray. I don't know who Kai O'Ray is, but he's taking him on. Jungle Boy versus Kai O'Ray.
I actually don't mind that at all. It'll be
very a hell of a match.
Yeah.
This is what I want to see.
Jungle Boy over.
I love these young guys like the Darbys and the Jungle Boys versus the established people. I love seeing those matches, and this one should be,
it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a banger, I think. But you're going to have outside shenanigans from both.
I hope they give them a little bit of time, though. Like, this shouldn't be a 7-minute TV match. They need at least
10, 15.
Yeah.
Do you guys
15.
read anything into them not calling Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus the Jurassic Express anymore? They are not calling them that anymore.
I wonder if Marco Stunt owns the rights.
I don't know.
And he's no longer.
I
with the
didn't
company.
even pay attention to it.
It's
They're
World Tag
Jurassic
Team
Express
Champions
to
Jungle
me.
Boy and Luchasaurus. They have not said Jurassic Express the last couple weeks.
I'm
That's
wondering if
not
they
on
got
the
threatened to get
graphic?
sued. Sorry,
I-
again.
It could be something legal. Like there could be somebody claiming copyright of that. Like I don't know what Doc who said it, but there could be something with Marco Stunt where I mean they came up with that gimmick of the Jurassic Express. So maybe he went and copyrighted it. Maybe he's on the copyright of it, and they have to settle with him before they can use it again.
You
Who
have to
knows?
look.
Yeah.
I just noticed that this week. Now I think we're getting Tony Nese is the tease is what they did. I don't know if they actually announced it, but Tony Nese did the promo in the back with Hook, and I think we're gonna get Hook versus Tony Nese on Wednesday.
I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah.
Tony Nese he's top notch, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be much of anything. I think it's just going to be Hook coming out doing Hook things, and that's it.
Well, but Tony Nese is with what's his name? That other dude,
Mark
manager,
Sterling.
Mark Sterling
Yeah.
too. So do we see
Maybe
this
it'll be
guy-
Vinny Ellsworth.
What's
What's
that?
that?
How do you cut out?
Yeah, never mind.
What were you saying? You cut out.
I said, what if it's Jimmy Dream being in Pittsburgh?
Okay.
That would be funny as shit.
That would be hilarious. Two hands.
James Ellsworth.
Now we have a coffin match between Darby Allin and Andrade.
Did they
Which-
confirm this for Pittsburgh?
Yes, it's confirmed for
Yeah.
That's
Pittsburgh.
awesome.
My kid
Yeah.
popped last night in the living room. Freaked
Now-
out.
I saw him the challenge, but I didn't know it was going to be in Pittsburgh. That's freaking
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I say you put Andrade over.
I agree.
I mean, it's set up to be a Darby win, coffin match, coffin drop. He did that one off the top rope to the outside in that box.
I don't want to be standing next to my nephew if if Andrade goes over, but
So you don't want to stand by next to your nephew, and I don't want to stand by my own son if
Yeah.
this happens.
My
But if it
take on
does,
this is, as much as it could be a fun match, I hope it's not our main event.
No.
I
hope
doubt
they
it.
announce something else is the main event for Wednesday.
But
But
I
keep
think
in-
this
this would
could
be it.
possibly be it because of the gimmick and everything about it. You know, you're going to have the back and forth. You're going to have them. You're going to have shenanigans, of course, from Andrade's gang. And then, of course, Darby Sting's going to probably come down for him.
and the Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys, yeah.
And
Yeah,
those are
but
the
keep
only
in mind,
matches.
The Undertaker did lose the first Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
Yes,
there
he
you go.
did.
Good point. Good point. So, I mean, it would make sense, like you guys are all saying, because
Shawn Michaels, right?
Yeah.
I just think that booking and logically, it makes sense for Darby not to win, in my opinion.
And we've already touched base on the huge announcement. Some of the what we think it could be, might be. Is it
Right
a
now
new
about IWC.
AEW condoms.
I'd be
where
okay with
your
that.
favorite wrestler is
Tony
on the
Khan
tip.
buying IWC.
the BCC, not to be confused with the BBC.
Brother needs a job.
Well, Blaze, you heard. I kind of got an inside tip. It's condoms. It's the
You have an
AEW condoms, and
You got the inside tip, huh?
yes, inside tip. And
From
what
the
happens
side?
is no. Speaking of a tip, your favorite AEW wrestler you could pick to be on the tip of these
Oh, there he
condoms
is.
with an expression like this.
Anthony was to
Sorry
the
about that.
side
My
for a
phone
second
died.
before. He was to the
Oh.
side for a second. I wanted to make
He's
the to the
back.
side joke
Hey,
before he
can
left.
we touch base on how fucking awesome Samoa Joe versus Minoru
That was my
Suzuki
last thing I
last
had
night?
written down here about him getting the championship. So go ahead, Ray.
It
Let's
was
talk
brutal.
about it.
I don't even care about the title. I popped so hard for the fact that they were just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
Both
for
of their
sure.
chests have to look like hamburger meat today.
104 strikes. Someone counted.
Wow.
Wow.
104 strikes.
Dude,
I
I
think
was
there's more.
popping. I was popping so hard for it. Like, that is the Samoa Joe that I know and love, and that I want to see. Like you could just see in his face. And Suzuki, the murder grandpa, is my favorite murder grandpa. Like,
Yes.
that dude is awesome. I don't give a shit. Me and
I loved Jim Ross's comment about him. He goes, "I had dinner with that man, and he didn't say a word." I was
You
like,
guys know my wife is not a huge wrestling fan, but she's sitting there watching Dynamite last night with me, and she was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, she was like,
Yeah, that
"Are they
was
just still chopping each other?" Like, she looked down at her computer, just looking, and she's like,
And when you thought it
"Are
was
they
over,
still hitting each other?"
Did you notice Joe started the
Oh, he was
bruising
bruising
from
bad.
here to here? I mean, I know there's a lot of bruises, but just this one right here where Suzuki just kept whacking it. I was like, Jesus.
A couple of those were potatoes because you could see in Joe's face when he got hit, his eyes got real big with that whole "you motherfucker."
We mentioned it. I don't know if it was off the air in the beginning of the show or not, but Cesaro's new name. He's going by Claudio CSRO. He trademarked CSRO.
So Cesaro.
Yeah.
I said it should Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, he should have brought it back, but I get why he's not. I mean, he's known as Cesaro for marketing purposes. You see a lot of guys do that when they leave the Fed. That they do some kind of thing. Actually, on a lot of his T-shirts, where it's the CZRO as the abbreviation for Cesaro. So I get it.
Where do you think he ends up, Ray?
I already gave you a little tip earlier.
Yes, the Impact thing.
I have a feeling that it is going to be Impact because I don't think that AEW is going to be signing anybody high profile just for a little while. But
ROH.
if there is an AEW ROH show in that announcement, I could most definitely see him going back to ROH.
Why do I feel like there's bad blood though between him and ROH for some reason?
Well,
that's the old ROH.
Who cares? That's the old ROH.
Yeah, I know.
Chris Hero sent out a text or a tweet. I'm sorry. If you go back and look at his page, right after Cesaro was released, and said, "What up, King?" So So could we see a Kings of Wrestling reunion in ROH?
I don't know. We're keeping Hero pretty busy at IWC, but I'm all for it.
But also think about when they did the ECW.
I'm sure he knows where he's going. You need to be asking him.
I know. I'll see him next week.
Was that Vince?
When they brought back ECW, as failed as that was, in the beginning, it wasn't so bad because they brought back Rob Van Dam, they brought back Sandman, they brought back some of the flavor. I think with Ring of Honor, it would behoove them to bring in Claudio and whatever name he wants to go by. Because he is a big part of the fabric of ROH history.
True.
True. And we have a big problem now with ROH, considering that the Briscoes are officially signing with Impact.
So I hadn't heard that.
One of the banner keepers of ROH is now going to be, unless there's some type of deal to let them still work or whatnot. I don't know. But
what about the rumors that Tony Khan's buying Impact as well?
Yeah, that could be the next. That could be the big announcement.
Doesn't matter.
That might be the big announcement. Who knows?
Oh snap!
So
if Tony Khan buys Impact, the beginning of that announcement should be, "My name is Tony Khan, and I have a 6-foot fucking penis."
And the live streaming service will start for $9.99 a month.
Let's touch
You're
base
not
on
finding
this.
condoms for big enough for
Adam
that
Scher or Titan or Braun Strowman came out pretty much bashing the shit out of AEW. Got his ass black. I don't think we'll ever see him in AEW. I don't know what you guys are thinking about this. Adam Scher. Titan,
oh God!
Braun.
I remember someone blasted him on Twitter though. Literally called him out on his
Marcus
shit.
Bagwell.
He said it was torture to watch Dynamite. I'd rather watch Raw. That's what he said.
I hate to say it, but Bagwell owned him, man. He's like, listen, dude, it was.
I don't think we're seeing Strowman in AEW anytime soon.
But
they all kissed and made up at the end.
I'm laughing at the relevance of buff fucking Bagwell.
Yeah, true.
Like,
we're going back. And
you were you were a male whore on Gigolos and gangbanged some old lady because you couldn't get a wrestling job, and now you're fucking relevant talking about Braun Strowman.
Well, hey, we covered a lot of shit tonight, man. The fantasy booking was a lot of fun, and I think we need to do that again another time and revisit it in a different way or something. So if you guys got ideas out there, please leave them in the comments of what we can do here. We do not want to just go over cards like every other podcast. We want to do different shit like we did tonight. So before we get last words, I'm going to thank Anthony first and foremost down the bottom there for hanging out. My pleasure. We're going to be talking more. I know you guys got some big things coming up with TGT. I know some of them you probably can't talk about just yet, but if you can give us a little bit of information on where people can find you and what maybe some information you can share about TGT right now.
Sure. So, you guys can find me on my YouTube channel, Picksburgh, just like it says on my name here. I do different videos about cards and stuff like that. I'm actually going to be ripping this box like very soon. This just came in the mail today, actually, right as I was coming home. So looking forward to see what I get in there. So that'll be up on the channel. If anyone's interested in sending cards to get graded to up their value, you can always send it to us at Transparent Grading Team. It's a company I started with one of my best friends. And, we grade cards. We're the first company that actually shows you why your card graded, what it graded. So that way you don't send it into PSA and get like 5 different grades. This way you know what it graded and you're assured you know what it graded and you have proof it graded what it graded.
And yeah, right on the bottom, scrolling through, you got www.transparentgradingteam.com. You can submit right through there, and they are doing some big things, changing that industry, man. I'm not just saying that. Like I said, it was such a coincidence when I met Tony to end up finding out that Anthony knows CJ and some of these other guys and fought back in the day. So all the success in the world to you guys out there,
absolutely.
Mr. Hollywood,
Doing so well.
Mr. Hollywood over there,
Thanks,
Anthony. Big
If anybody knows Chris Taylor, you're cool. So.
Oh yeah.
So
he's a nice guy.
So
yeah. Hey Taylor.
So here's
nice
the real question.
Grade.
I'm his DD. I'm usually his DD after shows sometimes. So
we know WrestleMania is in Hollywood next year, so you get a bunch of tickets for us, right? Take all of
Dude,
us.
I literally told my best friend we're sitting on the couch watching Mania, and they announced it's going to be in Hollywood or SoFi, like 20 minutes from me. Like literally, like we're going to try to get tickets and be there. So
well, I'll meet you there,
want
brother.
to come out, dude.
I'll be there. We're coming.
I'm
get
actually
some tickets,
going,
man.
I'm actually going with my friend that lives in LA too. My friend Jason lives in LA. He lives in Santa Clarita. So he's actually, we've already planned it out. So it's going to be taking my son and everything. It's going to be good times.
Next year is my 20-year
awesome.
wedding anniversary, and the wife has been wanting to go to Hawaii. So fuck it. We're going to go to Mania for me. And then we're already going to be in LA. So then I'm going to take her to Hawaii for a couple days. So
that'll work.
We will be there.
Just make sure it's from the side.
Nice.
Yeah.
And all of
I can't do it from the side. I'm too fat for that shit.
Jesus.
Anthony, thank you. The links for Transparent Grading Team and his social media links are in the description as well. Vince, my man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
A pleasure.
Hey, Vince, what would be awesome if you would do this for us? I would love for you to do a listen to WrestleSense little promo snippets as Dusty and as Jesse Ventura.
Yes.
Just give us the gamut of fucking shit here that we can drop.
No problem, man. Just let me know what
thank
you
you
need.
guys very much for being on the
Yeah,
show.
both
Oh,
of
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
And
fellas,
Blaze, I
good
got an
seeing
idea
you.
if you want to facilitate this. Why don't we give all the folks in the chat, you guys can submit to either the WrestleSense Twitter or the YouTube in the comments. Give us 2 workers, 4 workers, tag team, whatever, and maybe we'll start yanking one of them a week. And we as a group will fantasy book either the 2 workers you give us. It doesn't have to be WWE versus AEW. It could just be 2 anybody. Or 2 tag
build
teams.
a storyline and
Yeah,
whatnot
we'll
out
build it up and book it the only way we know how. You know, the way that makes fucking sense.
there.
Why we're called WrestleSense.
And yeah, we'll start doing that once a week. I think that'd be a little fun thing that we could waste 5 minutes on and get you guys a little more involved.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was going to give away a car for a minute there.
You get a car.
You get a car.
Up in your fucking chair. There's nothing.
We can give away a Toyota.
So, Easy E, what's your final thoughts on the show here tonight? Take us off with something really brilliant, like you always do.
Well, I think that first and foremost, we need to support indie wrestling every chance we can get.
Amen.
You know, we have a nice couple of weekends going on, so support indie wrestling is a key, and that's where you see, tomorrow stars today. So,
Yeah.
Amen.
Very
Amen.
well said. Very well said.
Ray had a nice Applebee's experience today, and we're gonna. Oh, he's got business to take care of. CJ.
You got, I believe, RWA this Saturday, the 16th, and I'm sure Doc will touch on that. But April 30th at the Ross Traver Ice Gardens, IWC and NEW Super Show. You got TME versus the Hardy Boys. You have Thunder Rosa and the Queen of the Silver Screen, Katie Arquette. It's a super stacked card, and again, it's not one you're going to want to miss.
And you'll have the stripes on?
I will have the stripes on. We got new ref shirts.
If you don't know the main event, you guys got to pay attention to them because I think they are the next tag team.
Yes.
To blow it up. I
agree.
Not the main event match. It's a tag team called TME.
TME, the main event. Yep.
Check them out. Ray had a great Applebee's experience earlier, so we brought him in with a ball of energy, and now send us off. What you got? Last words here from the big guy, Ray. What you got to say?
It is not eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's is slublord food. They're shit. Fucking shit. Chili's for life, bitch.
The
Fuck
next
you,
time,
Applebee's.
now, next Thursday, we will be live to talk about our AEW experience. The following Thursday, we will not be live. It's the NFL draft, so we're going to take a week off, and we're going to let people watch the draft and shit and come back the following week. Or maybe we'll do a special show. Maybe we'll do a special show on a different night. We'll see.
Blaze, are we doing a draft show?
Maybe. Who knows?
I'm down. We'll do a draft live cast and react.
Good.
I'll be in Florida.
We are going to pay attention to the channel Wednesday, guys. Whether it's if you guys aren't following us on Twitter and on Facebook, make sure you're following every member because I don't know whose will be going live from.
I'll be going live. Definitely going live on the way
live from, but
and we got to get that WrestleSense Facebook and whatnot going on. I know we've talked about it, but we've been slacking a little bit.
We'll be live a lot next Wednesday from the Peterson Event Center. On the way down, on the way back,
Pre-game.
Live reaction during. So make sure you're following all of us because who knows where we're popping up and for what.
You get to see a bunch of people teach my child dirty words in the car on the way down.
No, I would never.
We started the show with
He
Doc.
just says from the side all the time.
We started it with the Doc. Let's end it with the Doc. We talked about our RWA. We fancy booked all kinds of stuff. We talked about Bodie. Is Bodie wrestling more anymore or anything? When's the next?
He's actually we got him in a special camp so he can hone his wrestling skills. He wanted to do it. He was more influenced after meeting Darby to do it, so we're excited about that.
Let me
AEW, yeah, well, that's happening after he does his
eyes.
And then what I was going to say is very excited about AEW Dynamite. It's going to be a good experience because it's good seeing my son, see his heroes, all of them. Hopefully the dinosaur comes out. We have to see the dinosaur. The dinosaur has to come out. And, of course, next time we do a fantasy draft, especially if Easy E's here, I would like some heart medication and some Xanax.
You're going to give yourself a heart attack. Calm down.
Doc, I do have to say this. You are getting quite testy in your old age.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, well, keep off my goddamn lawn.
Old fucker.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I will be live for Leaning Towards Death Wrestling Lightning Strikes coming up right after this in just a few minutes. Anthony, Vince, definitely not the last time I hope we have you on the show.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys.
You guys are fucking amazing, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To have 6 or 7 people on a stream like this, I mean, there's going to be talking over. We're all having fun, but this is a party. This is a fun time. It's not super professional and cut and dry. We're a bunch of knuckleheads just having fun, enjoying wrestling. And we always say,
tell you something you may not know, Joe Rogan. I smoke rocks.
Enjoy whatever wrestling you love, people. If it's one company or the other or all of them, it's a great fucking time to be a wrestling fan, people.
It is.
Maybe the best ever. Peace and positive vibes to each and every one of you guys and gals out there and your families. See you next week from AEW Dynamite.
Happy Easter.
Oh!